Hello, YouTube modeling community. This is Rusty Rotor with a Normal's Mental mail call Monday. No mail today, or for this week, anyways. Nothing to show you. The Diora is done, other than one little piece, and then a final cleaning. We'll review that on the 27th. Gave me a lot of problems at the end. Well, I still set it on the table at Acme, yes. Primarily just so everybody can kind of see those tires and wheels painted and on something, and maybe get a little inspiration to build their favorite Hot Wheel in model form and use Ryan's tires and wheels. Was it fun? Yes, I had a blast building it. We've kind of touched base on that. Shadow, the 70 Buick GSX. I've got the exhaust left to do. I've got to wire up the MSD box. I'm waiting for it to dry right now. We can take a quick look at it. She sits on all fours. A slew of fitment issues I wasn't aware of. We did an open box review on this, and I deem it necessary to let you guys know there is some rear bumper fitment issues. They're not horrible, but definitely before you paint the car and get ready, I'd recommend stripping the bumpers and re-chroming them if you're going for the optimal look. Now, if you're just building it to be box stock, it doesn't really matter to me. You just build it to have fun. But the sides are heavily pegged from where they are attached to the sprue, so they should be stripped, sanded, and then re-chromed to get a better finish quality. I didn't do that, so got flaws. Interior, a couple of tiny little flaws, nothing big. You can't really see them, so it's not a big deal. Just the right amount of detail to keep it kind of classy. The decals did go on the seatbelt buckles really good. I don't know if you guys can see down in there or not. A little bit. You can see the blue on the buckle. It says, prominent says GM. Dash decals went on good. Dash is detailed nice. Everything's clean. No glue bomb or paint bomb. I'm not really happy with that amp. But, first time doing all that, going through all that, it was okay. I know what not to do next time. Glass fitment. There's some issues. Wasn't aware of it, but it still came back to bite me in the butt. Decals, we've been over that. I'm going to take the blame for that one because it's just not having a lot of experience in putting decals on. And it's because I avoid them like the plague. We had the issues with the hood. I did correct all that, and at the end of the day, that would have been okay. But with the decals being there, the decals aren't right. Actually, the center one's actually a little too short for what it should be. And the red part, they're breaking in areas, so it's hit and skip the red line. So it kind of ruins the overall look to me. Is she clean? Yeah, she's pretty clean. Stance is killer. We all know that. A little bit of detail. Clean underneath. We achieved that. LS fitting in there. I was able to fit the LS in there, and it's probably one scale too big. Next time I know I need to scale that motor down a little bit. And it was because it was one of my test prints. We touched base on that and how the prints were failing. And I kind of took 2 or 3 of those and took parts off of them and made one out of it. And size-wise, it's right. It's just there were so many problems with the print that I wasn't aware of all of them, and bit me in the butt at the end. But we got in there. We still got to add the MSD box, like I said. I'm not gonna flip the camera around today. You kind of get the gist of it. I got very little touch up to do underneath here. I got to add the MSD box and run the wires down towards the battery and back up underneath it like they're connecting, to the alternator and everything else. Most everything's hidden very well. The belt issue, that I'm not happy with that at all, but it is what it is. You can't really tell. The belts are in there, power steering's in there, alternator's in there. I wasn't able to fit the air conditioning compressor in there. So, it is what it is. But we got a lot of the other little detail in there. Battery turned out decent. Uh, hoses are ran. It's plumbed and wired. It's a nice build. It was fun. It did cause me a lot of issues. There's a lot of oversight on my half for rushing. It's what I got chalked up to is I didn't take the time. As it started flowing, I should have been more aware and cautious, and I wasn't. I flailed it to the wind. Said it's going good this well. This point, the rest of it should fly right together, no issues. Well, no, that's where all the issues were, and I should have thought ahead a little bit more. But she's a nice model. It's got flaws. Is it going to win? No. We nicknamed her Shadow because she's something that's always going to be behind me. I'm always going to be wondering, I could have done this, I could have done that. But she's going to the show for good or for bad. It doesn't matter. I don't care if it wins. It's a winner in my opinion because, my vision, it came true to what I wanted and how it looks. It's just not, everything's not crisp and clean and perfect enough for it to compete against all the other great model builders out there that are going to have their stuff sitting on the table. Why would this win when there's that there? If it did, I probably somebody's going to have to catch me because I'm going to hit the floor. That's how much I know the difference between them. So, but she's going good or bad. The GTX, it was built to take to shows. She does have a lot of detail. A lot of thought process went into it. Is there flaws? Yes, there is. I've corrected a few of the flaws. I cleaned up that back, like I said I was going to do. I got rid of the little bubbles back here, and that ended up just being from where I waxed it. It wasn't the clear coat or the clear glue. So that actually cleaned up nice. So I need to give it a final polish. But there is a few little flaws. Will they get caught? I don't know. I don't care. It is really clean underneath. It's not as clean as it could be because I had a lot of touch up. And when you airbrush a chassis, it's one type of paint, and then you come back and touch up with a different type. The shades aren't exactly the same. So you get up close with a microscope with this thing, you're going to see the different variations of black. But they're not going to be picking it up. I'm going to have it sitting on mirrors so you'll be able to see all that detail underneath, and it does have a lot of detail. Super proud of this car. It was another vision in my head that kept eating away at me. Build this, you can build this. And then I didn't have enough reference material, so I had to kind of wing it and do it my way. And I didn't want to go through the bigger kit where I'd had to tub it out to fit these tires and wheels. I wanted to use a kit that was already tubbed to save some time and issues. And mistakes were made along the way, of course. But at the end of the day, it's a pretty car. I'm proud of it. I hope it does something at Acme. Even if it's third place, I'd be tickled pink. A couple of these that I am bringing. Like I said, my closest to perfection ever was that GTO, that 65 GTO. It still has flaws. It is highly detailed, mainly in the engine compartment. Underneath is pretty much just because it's a promo style model. Everything's modeled in. I didn't separate it. I didn't take it all off, and I didn't go through and make it a super hard build. It was a vision. It was quick, cut, and dry. And that one, actually, I could have just thrown the pieces in a box and a bottle of paint and shook it up, and boom, there it was. That's how good that model went together. My Cutlass, it has a lot of flaws. It did take best overall engine at a local show. I'm bringing it. I don't expect it to do anything. But, it gives everybody a chance to see, the detail I do put into them. And the ones I will be bringing are that way. That 55, it does have a few flaws. They're really not horrible. So it stands a pretty good chance of doing something. The two trucks, they both have flaws, but again, they're not like real relevant, I guess. Somebody may catch it and say, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that. You should have done this," and that's always a possibility. But the two trucks might do pretty good. The Willys, there's a few little flaws here and there on that one, and some things that should have been done better, I guess is the best way to put it. But, that's the way it is. So that's the topic. Jason Hascom at Blue Ox, I watched his video this weekend, and it kind of just, like somebody took a ball peen hammer, hit me in the back of the head. Shelf queen. I've said it a few times. I hear it all the time. And it may just, for some reason, watching his video, it just became crystal clear and apparent to me. That's my skill set. I build shelf queens. I strive to build trailer queens that would become show queens. I don't always succeed at that. It doesn't mean that I'm a failure or anything, but it just means that, what I try to strive for, I don't always achieve, and that's part of life. But, best way, I'm an average model builder at best. I'm better at certain things than others, and others are better at certain things than I am. So, fitting myself into a category of, Rusty Rotor's a pro builder, man, he has stuff. It is awesome. If I was an outsider looking in, I'd be like, man, that's cool as crap. Because this is what I looked at years ago at guys that were doing, and I'm like, holy crap, how do they put all the detail in there, and what they use, how they do this, how they get that done. And I just strived over the years to do that. And that's where I'm at now. So if those cats were doing it years ago, and I'm just now doing it, I'm average. I'm not a beginner. There's still things I've never done, so I'd be a beginner at that. But, I push myself to add all this crazy detail because it's just the way I envision it. And it works out most of the time. And sometimes the stuff that I plan to do and I know it should work with no problem, that's when it's always the worst. When I'm just kind of winging stuff and I'm this ain't gonna work, but I'm gonna try it works out. So I gotta change my thought process around a little bit. And we are going to take a break from all these crazy high detail builds. I'm burned out a little bit, but not bad. This Ring Brothers Charger is going to be the last one that I'm going to put myself through. After that, we're getting to just a nice built model. At the end of the day, it's still shelf queens. I'm not working on any more show pieces. The Trans Am is the only one I got back here that I've set aside that is really being built for a show. If I get it done in 3 years, I'll still be happy. The amount of money I have in it, it is one I definitely need to do. And hopefully it will be a showstopper. Hopefully, my goal is to take best of show with that model. Best of show, best engine. I want it to clean house. Will it? I don't know. That's what I'm building it for. So I'll get it down, work on it for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I put it back away because I already see myself starting to make a mistake that I shouldn't, and so I stop. And I'm good at that. I can catch myself on that one. These other ones, everything gets going so good, I'm like, well, I'm not going to make these mistakes because this is all going. The Buick is a prime example. It's going to come back and bite you in the butt, Rick, and it has. But is she shiny? Yes. Is it got a killer stance? Yes. Badass set of tires and wheels? Yes. Underneath the hood look really cool? Yes. Underneath, not a lot there, but a little wow factor. Not a whole lot, but just enough. And, at the end of the day, it's going to look great in the display case. And I'm happy with it. It deterred or disappointed in a few things. My ability of laying decals. My ability of getting ahead of myself. A lot of the stuff that got into the color code I couldn't get out. But I got ahead of myself and I'd already put the spoiler on. I'd already done this. I'd already done that. So, if I got in there to really get it out, I would have broke something, caused more problems, messed up the paint even worse. So it's like, at this point, we kind of just need to leave it alone and clean it up the best we can and just, let everybody see it. And you guys, I know there's a lot of people. I've had people here pick it up. Man, I could never do that. How do you have the patience for that? I've taken them to work and showed my friends at work, and they're all floored. And they're like, man, I don't know how you do that. I can never. And that, that has a way of building up your confidence, and you keep pushing yourself and push yourself harder. Well, I've pushed myself to my limits, and I know where I'm getting ahead of myself at. So now it's time to reflect and know, okay, well, I knew what my limits were. I pushed past them. and failed. So we got to stay in this window if we want a nice clean builds. And that's not to get too crazy with him. Add just the right amount, and that's what we're going to try to do from here on out. The dioramas are another thing that I can't explain how much I've been wanting to do them. It's not that I'm so good at them. It's just I have so much fun with them. It takes a little of the craziness off of concentrating on a car being, show quality perfect. That, grass isn't perfect. Trees don't stand perfect. This, that, and the other is not perfect. Most of the cars, there's only going to be one car that's going to have a little bit of detail in it. And that's because the guys in the shop have worked on this car to take to the track and race. And it's, a hot rod. So it's going to get some detail. Everything else is box stock. It will be weathered or detailed to its fitting or placement in the diorama, but box stock. If the car came from the factory with decals on it, we're going to work on that because that helps me improve on what I'm struggling in. Most cars back in the 50s didn't have decals on them. They had a lot of chrome. So here we are with the bare metal foil. To me, it's like a decal. I just struggle at it. It's not that I'm horrible at it. I can improve. It's just I avoid it if I can. I have more fun painting the chrome on with a little brush than I do putting the bare metal foil on, if that makes any sense. I get knocked all the time for, it looks like it was hand painted. Well, it's because it was. Well, why'd you hand paint? Why don't you just mask it off or airbrush each piece? A nicer, cleaner look. Because it wasn't fun. Cleaning my airbrush 50 times and switching colors of paints and, that's not fun. That's work to me. Taking the engine and painting every little piece in there and picking out that little detail with a brush, that's fun. That's enjoyment to me. It's challenging to me. So that challenge kind of drives me harder to go towards that than it was to make something simple. It's just taking an alligator clip and put it on there and spray the head aluminum, and I get a nice clean finish. And then I got to be tedious with a toothpick and the glue and, when I can sub-assemble the whole engine other than the valve covers if they're chrome and, other components, and I'll airbrush that if it's all one color. But if it's multicolored, it's funner just to hand paint it. So, that's just me. And at the end of the day, that's who they're for. If it's a customer's job, I go through all those steps and all those measures. It's a total different ballgame when you're working for something or working for someone, and their expectations and their wants they supersede yours. I guess is the best way to say it. So, like with Jay's Charger that we built, I custom mixed the paint. I did my best to lay that paint down with no issues. We did end up having some flaws here and there, and that's just, it happens. But the premises for it, the engine parts were all individually airbrushed. They were put together. It was, really clean. I added a lot of detail. We had some issues with the front suspension. It wasn't down as far as I wanted it to go. But then again, I was using a wider tire, and it made things harder to do. I didn't really think about it too hard. I figured I could get it down, and I did a little bit. And he was happy with it, and that's, at the end of the day, all that matters. But from here on out, we're going to make some changes on these videos. So, especially the time length. We're going to wrap this one up. My mental thing is, shelf queens, trailer queens, to show queens. What's your thought and opinion on it? I know where I place, and that's, shelf queen. It's crystal clear to me now that, they're not all show queens. Most 98% of my stuff is shelf queens. There's a few in there that are maybe show queens. Time will tell. So I'm curious to see where you guys think about it. I know this kind of touches base with other topics I've said, and I've kind of hampered and stammered and bitched and moaned all last week on clarifying how I am. And that's the best way to describe it. And to wrap it all up and sum it up and not have to discuss it anymore is my build set is amateur. The quality of my stuff is shelf queen. I can't sugarcoat it. That's what it is. They're not, they're not not all of them are beauty queens. So, as always, drop your comment down there in the comment section. You want to discuss it even more, get more in depth of what you think, and how you place things, and even ones you see at shows. Trailer queen leads to show queen, because that car is perfect. That's why they're not driving it. They want it pristine. They don't want an ounce of dust on it or dirt or anything else. Or shelf queen. Shelf queen would be like a daily driver. You're proud to drive it into a show. And it's not as good as other cars there, but you're proud of it. And it looks good. It's not, a glue bomb or a paint bomb or anything like that. So, and what you think your status is as a model builder. What category would you put yourself in? A lot of people say beginner. Well, there's a lot of variance in each category. Beginners, it would be something where you've never done any of it before. That's a beginner. So you're just starting to learn everything, the proper way to glue things, paint things, so on and so forth. Amateur, that's me. Like, even though I've entered some pro contests and I've won, it doesn't mean nothing. There's a lot of luck in there. I'm an amateur, maybe above amateur a little bit. When it comes to detailing an engine, yeah, I'd probably be right up there. And the better product I have, the better I would do. The more time I would have with that, I would do better. It's just, you get in your own way sometimes. Thank you to all my past subs, present subs, subs to come. Hit that bell notification when you do drop me a sub, so when you see these videos come out. We're going to try to keep all these videos under 30 minutes, and then eventually work ourselves down to where we're 10 to 15 minutes. And then we'll plan for a longer video on a certain day for a certain topic. And once we get the shop rearranged, we're going to start bringing, I'm going to get some of these specialty tools I have, and I've not really been using them, but we're going to get them out and we're going to review them. Hopefully I still remember the name of the place where I got it, in case you guys are interested in what types of paints I use, what type of paintbrushes. We've touched base on these. $7 you get like 100 of them on Amazon. Can't beat them. As far as paintbrushes, what brands do I use? I have three brands that I use regularly, and I'm very happy with them. I don't use them very often anymore. I primarily use a lot of these little disposable things. I've been saving these for my dioramas because these are for that type of painting. I've got a couple that I use a lot for models, and we'll go over that. What types of glues I use. I'm not really fluent in glues. I probably use some glue where I shouldn't and others where I should. And I'm like you guys. I'm learning as I go and what works, and if it works, I use it. The CAs, super glues, accelerated glues, UV cure glue. I like the UV cure glue really well. Just find hard to get it, and the shelf life isn't a real long time, and usually when you get it, it's already hard, and you just got to send it back and hope for the best. And then when I get it, I go through it pretty quick because I primarily use it for everything because it's great. Little tiny boom, hold it in place, hit it with that light, boom, it's done. Clean, effortless. Something that's not fitting together right and it won't hold and it wants to pull apart, a little dab and boom, and it's there. It doesn't move again. So that's why I like it. And you don't photo etch or anything else like that. It's great for that because it's just a little tiny tad bit, and then you put your photo etch where it needs to be, and then hit it with that light, and it's done. You can move on and within 2 seconds. So we will get more into that. What size solders I use for my exhausts, We'll get more into the 3D world. I've been building up parts primarily for myself. If you guys are interested in 3D parts, you just got to contact me via my email, which is always down in the descriptions, and let me know. And if it's something I can print, I've got it ready to go and I can print it, I'll print it for you. I'll describe the price and shipping and all that to you via email. Like I said, it's always down there. You get a chance, go visit Mark at Hobby Nut Models. His link is always down there. He's always got great stuff, guys. And as we get closer to the giveaway, we'll develop more into that. We get closer to the dioramas, we'll start laying stuff out a little bit more. I do have a plan for each one, and kind of working out a kind of a regiment on, where we're going to start. I always start with the bases. Getting my main base, the size figured out, so I have room to fit everything I want to fit in it. And once I'm happy with that, and even if I got to shift things a little bit, I got plenty of room to do that. So and then we'll start building our base up, and then it'll be starting the structures. Structures go in place first, and then we'll start adding all the crazy detail, and the vehicle builds will begin. And the Ghostbusters, there's going to be some clay, molding clay, sculpting, in with that. Some building structures that are going to be big. Remember, these are all 1/24th, 1/25th scale, so it's not tiny little things. These are big structures. As we rearrange the shop and we start organizing better and getting ourselves prepared, you guys are going to be coming along for the journey. Hey, my wife said something that is really cool. So my wife got a new job. Same company. She worked for the same company. And she got a new position. And it's, prestigious. It's high paying. It's, all the great things that you'd want to get to move up in a company. But she has to take certain tests. And she told me if she can get through and pass these tests, she's going to build a model car with me. I'm going to start her off very simple. I'm going to help her all the way through, hands-on. She's never done any of that. She is crafty. So she has the artistic, ability to do these things. I've seen her do things, when the kids were little, the projects and everything else. So it's not that she's not art savvy, because she is. And so we're going to pick out a kit, and we're going to try a basic kit with her. We're not going to be modifying anything. If it's something I know that a aftermarket set of tires and wheels will fit on really good, we'll go that route a little bit, but nothing other than that. But we're just going to take it slow. And, when she has time to come in here and work on it, then she's going to do it. So she told me she would, so I'm going to hold her to it. Now, getting her on film or on here is a whole nother ballgame. She is a girly girl. And if her makeup ain't right, her hair ain't right, her clothes ain't right, she's not going to let anybody take a picture of her or film her. So that's a whole nother demon I got to work on and work out. I did get to spend yesterday with my granddaughter, the one that doesn't live with me. That's Lila Buck. She's the one that watches all my videos. It was a very special day. She's really starting to warm up to me now, which is awesome. Because it's a little discouraging that they're a little shy to you. They don't know you as well because you're not there all the time. So it was really a cool day. We went out to eat. We celebrated my mother-in-law, her great-grandmother. Celebrated her life. We had a good meal. As my granddaughter said, she smashed. And she did. This little girl ate, a kid's pizza. But it was cut in 6 slices. She ate 3 slices of that freaking pizza. She ate a big portion of salad. She ate a whole breadstick. She ate some of my wife's food. What else did she? Oh, she had a big pile of French fries. She ate 3/4 of those. She smashed all that. And was just a champ. Just kept eating, taking a drink of her Sprite, going back to eating. She was watching a little video on her tablet while we were eating. She was a perfect angel all day long. Never gave any problems, any fits. And she was right there with me, and it was a special day. So Lila, I know if you're watching this one, honey, Papa loves you, and I'm looking forward to this weekend. We get both granddaughters all weekend, we've got some things planned. So it's going to be a really, really fun time. Grandchildren are everything. The kids were everything when they were little, and now it's the grandkids' time. So we try to make all those days as special as we can. So I'm really looking forward to that. And like I said, guys, nothing on Wednesday, unless something rolls through the works that deems time necessary. It's probably Acme Countdown. I'm getting everything out, looked at, see if I need any parts, clean, touch up anything like that. So that's taking up a lot of my time. The Buick will be done probably by tomorrow, Tuesday at the today is Monday, Tuesday or Wednesday at the latest. I'm going to work on the charger. All this is kind of drying, so I'm not messing with any more of it right now. I'm going to get the charger out and start working on it, and the NASCAR build, the Budweiser, and hopefully by the end of the week, all that stuff's going into primer, all 3 kits, and then focusing on paint and the assembly of those. I'll keep you guys posted on that because it's still relevant on what's on my bench, and that'll be on Fridays. So until Friday, you guys have the great week. Safe build. I'm looking forward to the 27th. See everybody's progress on their Hot Wheels replica group build. Like I said, mine is done, but mine went faster than I thought. Should have taken a little more time. It could have been a lot better than it turned out. And I mean, it is really good. It's just not. It's not perfect. And it could have been really close to perfect, but I still like it. I had a lot of fun doing it. And I highly recommend doing it. Getting a set of wheels from Ryan Jones or somebody that can print them. Get a set from them. Pick out your favorite Hot Wheel and build one. Build a replica. It's cool. Once you get those tires and wheels painted, the inspiration just comes alive. And it really inspires you to do it. And then it's like, holy crap, that looks just like the freaking Hot Wheel. And it does. I mean, you guys want to see it? I mean, it does. It's not great. But it turned out nice. I didn't put my side glass in. I can't tell by the picture if it had the side glass in or not, so I didn't do it. Same way, if your reference picture, you can't really tell. I'm not going to knock you for not doing something that maybe it did have or it didn't have or whatever. I just couldn't really tell. I'll probably see better on a better picture if the side glass is in. Most Hot Wheels it was. Some it wasn't, so I'm not sure. But the glass was horrible. It didn't fit, so I just stopped. I didn't want to just have a glue bomb on top of it because that's what it was. Just because they didn't want to fit at all. It was horrible. And now it's all together, so I'm not taking it back apart ever. It's going in a display case with the logo on it saying Hot Wheels Replica Group Build 2022, and it's going to go up here on the shelf. And each year we do one, it's going to go up on the shelf with it. But it was a blast, so I hope you guys are having fun with it. I'm looking forward to your results, where you're at with it. Any comments you have about it? Are you having fun? Keyword fun. Who you've got involved with you working on it. And that's all due by the 27th of this month, right before Halloween. So, till then, guys, well, not until then, but until Friday, this is Rusty Rudder. I'm out.